Hi friends, Bob Hendrickson here. I'm traveling with Parkinson's and you're not. I hope you are traveling because it's going to be rough for the next couple of years. But that's not what I want to talk to you about today. That comes later. Or it comes earlier. I'm not sure which. I haven't edited this in yet. Where is it? Is it earlier? It's going to be later. That's my fun. I have been asked occasionally to tell the story of how I got diagnosed with Parkinson's. It's pretty nothing to it, except that probably happened years before. I had technically, young onset Parkinson's, young YOPD, young onset of Parkinson's disease. It's sort of an arbitrary date. It's when you get Parkinson's disease, and it was earlier than you thought you were gonna. So let's set the record straight about one thing. YOPD, which is young onset Parkinson's disease, and PD, which is Parkinson's disease, it's the same diagnosis. The only difference is your age. They're not going to tell you how fast it's going to develop or how slow it's going to develop. It's not a different disease. It's the same one. And how your body reacts to it is how your body reacts to it. I've seen young ones go quicker and young ones last longer. I'm not technically YOPD, but I've been out here 14 and a half years and I'm still doing pretty good. And I've seen some other younger people that have not done as well at much younger starting dates. So don't let the definitions between PD and YOPD run you ragged, because they're the same thing. Here's some pictures of a couple of friends of mine who have officially YOPD, young onset Parkinson's disease, from my book, Friends of Mine. These are also people who just happen to have had the DBS surgery. That's why the pictures are here. But anyway, back to the subject. 54, 55 years old. It's 55th year, 54 years old. So I was 54 years old. It was 54 years old. March the 12th, 2018. That's a date nobody that has ever gotten the diagnosis will ever lose or not know or forget. I'm no different. So March the 12th of 2018, I went in to see a neurologist because I had been having people stop me along the way and say, "Hey, Bob, you hurt yourself? You're walking funny." Geez, I'm sorry. I didn't know I was walking funny. I don't know. I don't think I was walking funny, or and then I hurt myself, and somebody else would walk up and say, "Hey, Bob, I saw you yesterday. You look like you were walking funny. Did you hurt yourself?" That happened about 4 times. I went home and asked my wife, "Am I walking funny?" She says, "Yeah, you look like you got a load in your pants." So I said, well, I guess I better go to see the neurologist, see what that is. Now, back this story up just a little bit. When I was in the Air Force, 32, 33 years old, I was flying in a thing called the Bombing and Navigation Competition in the KC-10s. We did pretty well. But the captain that I flew with in the first year was a guy named Derek Spott. I loved him so much as my captain. He was a great guy, great captain. This was not Rick Packard. 2 guys named Rick. It's just coincidental. He would call him Rick too, but his name is Derek Spott. He decided he was going to get out after the bomb comp that he had just won, and was interviewing back in the day at American Airlines when they could do the mini physical before offering the job. Now, of course, they can't do that, but back then he was at the mini physical and he's walking back and forth across the room, retrieving paperwork for this or that. And flight doc was looking at him, said, "You, come here." He says, "Give me your paperwork," and walk back across the room again. Walked back, came back to the guy, and he says, "You're walking funny. Go get that checked out." I said, "Okay. Paperwork will be here waiting for you when you come back, because we really like you, but go get that checked out." Well, he did, and he came back with a diagnosis of ALS. He was dead in 18 months, left a wife and 2 little girls, and everybody in the squadron was devastated. He was a fair-haired boy. He was the guy that we sent to the bomb and navigation competition. He won it, and I was just the co-pilot sitting there watching him do it. He was a great pilot, great man. Everybody loved him. He was like the kin to his Barbie. And oh my God, we were just devastated as a squadron. It's something I'll never forget. He was a wonderful guy, and so sad to lose him. He was a great pilot too. So if you're out there listening, Rick, this one's for you. Well, that was when I was flying KC-10s. And about 10 years later, I'm walking around and people are telling me, "Hey, you're walking funny, go get it checked out." Well, I'm thinking ALS. I'm scared shitless when I walk into the office. I walk in and sit down. Of course, I'm just quaking. And the neurosurgeon walks in. Not the neurosurgeon. The neurologist walks in. He's a basic neurologist, not a movement disorder specialist, but a basic neurologist. And he looked at me and said, do this. Now do this. Do this, do this. You know, that the basic, you've probably seen him, the basic file. Checking for dystonias and things. I had no idea what he was doing. I'd never seen that before. And after about 3 or 4 of them, he looked at me and leaned forward and said, you got Parkinson's. Just like that. No preamble, just, you got Parkinson's. And then he leaned back and says, you know what? I've been doing this for 28 years. You're going to think you want a second opinion? Go for it. Go get a second opinion, third, fourth. I don't care. But I've been doing this 28 years, and you got it. You're classic. I said, that's it? That's all I get? I don't get a test or anything? He says, well, that's it. I mean, that is the test. Call it clinical diagnosis. And I said other things, but you've got it. So how do you know? We got the flat affect, the face that we think you're making. You think you're making facial expressions, and you're not. You're just as flat as you can be. Really? And your voice, it's also flat, no inflection, no volume. You're kind of whispering, and I can barely understand what you're saying. Really? He said, and besides that, I've been watching you since you came in the office. I've seen you shuffling back and forth. And all of those symptoms are just all on display. Yeah, you're classic. You're absolutely classic. No question about it. You got Parkinson's. My whole life changed in that instant. Just like that. Anybody who's ever received the diagnosis of Parkinson's disease in their life says pretty much the same thing. You can take a stake. I always figure it's like a wooden stake. Not like through your heart. Not one of those. But you can just put it in the ground and mark that spot, that date on your calendar, March the 12th for me, 2018. My life, I walked into the doctor's office and I was going this direction. When I walked out of the doctor's office, I was completely those directions. Everything but straight ahead. Your whole life changes. Everything changes. It's the first thing you think about when you wake up in the morning. Parkinson's. I've got Parkinson's. It's the last thing you go to bed. Last thing you think about before you go to bed at night. Got Parkinson's. What am I going to do? What am I going to do? And for about every 5 minutes during the day, you got to do a self-assessment. You got to figure out, where am I? Do I feel like I'm going to make it? Am I on? Am I off? Am I going to fall down? Is it going to sneak up on me later? Am I about to fall asleep? I'm going to have a sleep attack. You got to self-assess. Do I need to take another pill? Can I turn up the DBS? Do I have to turn it up? Do I have to turn it down? Turn up the pills, turn down the pills. Am I titrating of myself? Trying to figure out how much I need. Dopamine dysregulation is a tough one. If you get up against it, it's basically drug seeking. It's an inaptly named condition. It's when you're drug seeking. But all of these things are happening. You want to be on all the time. You don't want to be off. You want to be embarrassed when you're out in public. So, and then you go to bed at night and you think about, what am I going to do tomorrow? How am I going to set up for my Parkinson's? It's all you think about for the rest of your life. And the people that are around you get awfully frustrated by that. And, oh, he's so selfish. He's so self-centered. All he thinks about is himself and all the Parkinson's. That's all he talks about. Well, yeah, they're right. It makes you very self-centered, but God, you've got to be. Nobody was ever born with the ability to multitask as much as it makes you multitask. To figure out, am I walking? Am I talking? Am I shaking? Am I quaking? Am I thinking right? Am I thinking wrong? What do I need to do to change the direction that my body is going? And you're watching it. And you're trying to think, well, how big of steps do I take? And am I making large gestures? Am I making faces or not making faces? What's the vagus nerve sending? All of these things are going through my mind all the time. You don't have time to worry about whether your kids are smoking pot, well, or if your wife is doing something else without you because she's so frustrated with you. And the penalty you pay for guessing wrong on any of that stuff, you might fall down a hill, might break a bone, or you might just wreck your car, go to sleep, kill yourself. God knows. You got to get it right every time because your body has a way of fighting back. And if your body doesn't, the Parkinson's disease certainly will. Serious stuff. So I finished up at his office. He gave me the typical sentiment and sent me on my way and gave me a referral to Johns Hopkins, and I spent a few years at Johns Hopkins in their movement disorders clinic, being seen by the head of his office. I wish I had known this thing about the non-motor symptoms of Parkinson's. Maybe my wife and I would have had to talk about that instead of the more mundane things about who's going to wipe your butt when you can't do it anymore. Who's going to bring you your meals? What's going to happen to you as this progresses? This progressive disease, you're never going to get rid of it. Could happen, so be careful with those. Make a study out of what can happen to you. If you are successful and you have someone who is willing to put up with all of that stuff, lucky you. And I hope you do, really, because it's it is a life-changing diagnosis, and it always will be for you. You cannot ever get rid of it, and that's what's so tough about it. All right, folks, before this gets too maudlin, I got to say this. Parkinson's, the diagnosis of Parkinson's disease, all as tough as it was, and as tough as it has been, on balance, the best thing that's ever happened to me. Because it's taught me one thing in particular, and that is what's important to me. And, you know, I'd love to be important to everybody or save everybody's bacon when the time's come, but I can't do that. And God gave me certain things, and I'm grateful for all of them, like another day, another sunrise, and I'm on the right side of the dirt again this morning. Got plenty of food to eat, and people around that I can talk to. Use of most of my faculties. I don't have a perfect life, but you know what? Perfect enough. And I'll say this. The diagnosis of Parkinson's disease for me has allowed me to put that in very stark perspective. So I know what's important to me now. I can't have everything that I want, though. I understand that. And that's what I have to live with. But I'm going to go for everything I can. I'm going to go for the experiences I can, travel where I can, see things, and share them with you. So I've got to be honest with you. This is where I put in the shameless plug for my other channel, which is Traveling with Parkinson's. And I think you'd like it. If you've gotten this far in this video, found out how I got diagnosed, you may like the Traveling with Parkinson's page because it tells you how to do it. I travel all over the place. About once a week, I'll put up some blogs about, you know, here's the Yosemite, or here's Yellowstone, or here's Grand Canyon, or here's some people I met. People I met are fascinating people. Some of them have traveling problems. Some of them have movement disorders. Some of them have Parkinson's. Some of them don't have any of that. I'm equal opportunity interviewer. Go around, talk to people, and find out what they're doing. Show you some pictures of where I've been. And if you're sitting around the house and you're kind of stuck, you can watch these for a while. It's free. There's no money involved. I just put it up there because I want you to share it with me. And that turns me on to share it with somebody because I have nobody in my van, nobody in the right seat. It's just me traveling around alone. It's the price I pay for my Parkinson's diagnosis. It's okay. But join me. Join me over on Traveling with Parkinson's and see if you like it. I'll put a link down below for that too. I sure hope to see you there, okay? Bye. So, with that in mind, I would like to wish you all fair winds following seas. May the warm sun always be on your face. And I will see you down the road. Love you all. Bye.